Hello everybody, this is Justin Hemenway on the UNICEF USA social media team. Today I am joined by Mohamed Ag Ayoya. He is the representative at UNICEF South Sudan, and we are very fortunate to have him in our offices today. We're going to ask him a few questions about his work. There are a number of topics that we're going to cover over the next few minutes.
Thank you very much, Justin, for the opportunity to be here today and to respond to a few questions on the situation in South Sudan. The nutrition crisis in South Sudan today is something already happening. We just completed a survey with the government and with WFP and FAO. We showed that 1.3 million children are acutely malnourished in South Sudan. So we are already dealing with quite big numbers in the past. And that survey showed that it's beyond the threshold of emergencies, which is beyond 15% of global acute malnutrition. As UNICEF, we have more than 800 treatment centers in South Sudan, where we get these children to come, to be screened, but also to be treated. And what we want to do today is to try to go beyond that. To be able to prevent acute malnutrition, you need to be able to provide clean water to people, which is not there. Only 40% of people have access to clean water. You have to be able to provide health services of quality, and they are not there. You have to be able to provide children with food, and that's quite difficult. So it's really challenging on the ground. The numbers are unfortunately going up, and with the floods that we have been experiencing over the past 2 weeks, the numbers will even go up. So yes, we are definitely facing a nutrition crisis, and it's going to be worse if nothing is being done in the coming weeks and months to address the issues on the ground. And the good news is that so far we have been able to treat successfully 9 out of 10 of them. Climate change is real, and it's affecting the most vulnerable people. I mean, that's what is happening today. We are really appealing to the leaders of this world to take this seriously and to take action. People on the ground tell me that they haven't seen this kind of floods for the past 20 years happening in South Sudan, and happening at this time of the year. So that's a clear message that climate change is a reality. We do take that into account from our side as UNICEF. In South Sudan, for example, what we have been doing is to make sure that during the dry season, we preposition our supplies in very difficult to reach areas to prepare ourselves for this kind of things. And it's exactly what happened. In Pibor, for example, we have an office. We were able to preposition the supplies during the dry season. And when the floods hit, we had at least something on site which enabled us to quickly react and support the people. We have boats, for example, which we use to save lives of people, to move them from the flood areas to areas that are not flooded. We had supplies that we were able to provide immediately in terms of nutrition for children, for women. We had latrines that we were able to put in place as emergency, etc., etc. The second thing we are doing in South Sudan is also together, not just as UNICEF, but with the other UN agencies, is to try to build the resilience of people so that they are able for themselves to absorb and to react to this kind of shocks. And they can cope by the time we are able to come in and support them. UNICEF has been working in tandem with all the other UN agencies, the government and the NGOs, to make sure that, particularly around the borders with DRC, we have in place programs and activities that prepare the people against Ebola. Most particularly, we have been investing a lot in terms of what we call risk communication, which is making people aware what Ebola is, what are the symptoms, how do you get it, what do you do if someone has Ebola, and how do you report suspected case, etc. We have also been building the capacity of the health professionals in that area in terms of knowledge, but also in terms of readiness. We have been putting in place infection and prevention control measures with everything related to wash and supplies available. We have trained teams together with other UN agencies. We have supported the establishment of isolation centers throughout the borders. Other UN agencies are working on the entry points so that everyone who crosses the border at that level, at least, that person is checked to make sure that there is no fever or there are no other symptoms that can resemble to Ebola. So we have been working mostly on really making the country be prepared. And as we speak, I can confidently say that we are much better prepared than we were like 6 months ago. With family reunifications, you really see the sense of fulfillment of the work that you are doing on the ground. And sometimes it's a very difficult job to do. Difficult because once you have these children released, then you start the process of identifying their families, the parents. And that takes sometimes 8 to 10 months for us to be able to do so. So what we do and we have to do is have people going and knocking doors, literally from one door to another, asking questions about where the parents of the students are. And then after 8 months to 10 months, when you finally you are successful to find a family and bringing the child and the mother, see them getting together and the whole family around is something that is deeply, deeply touching. It's been very fulfilling.
Well, it's incredible work, and we're very grateful for you joining us today. For those of you who would like to support all of the amazing things that UNICEF South Sudan does, you can go to our website, unicefusa.org/South Sudan, and make a donation. Mohamed, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Justin. Pleasure.
And we'll hopefully have you back on someday soon.
Definitely. Thank you.
Right. Bye.